So when I first got here, I was staying in the Colonial Zone. Colonial Zone is like the most preserved section of Santo Domingo. Looks really old school. They got the old school buildings. Supposedly it's like one of the first cities in all of the Americas, one of the original cities, OG cities. The name is fitting, right? Because everything is preserved. And there's a lot of old buildings and stuff. So pretty much in the Colonial Zone, I stayed there. I rented an Airbnb, and the rent for the first month was $816.58. And then food costs, this includes groceries and eating out, $206.74. And then the gym monthly cost, $26.68. So a total for $1,050. Now the second month, what happened was that I got tired of living in the Colonial Zone because there weren't that many services there. You know, it's like kind of limited. It's just like kind of like this place stuck, you know, backwards in time, and the power keeps going out all the time, like more frequently than in other places here in Santo Domingo. And also, I just wanted more services, and I wanted to see like what Santo Domingo is like in modern times, right? So I moved up to a place called Arroyo Hondo. It's right near to Harding Botanicals. I have a video for that. I'll post it somewhere around here. So I rented another Airbnb there. First month rent there was $1,158.06. Now the price went up a lot, right? I rented this was a one bedroom and was a 1.5 bath. It was a lot bigger than the place in Colonial Zone, and it was more modern, and the power didn't go out as much. But the only thing is like the zone that it was in, Arroyo Hondo, is kind of, you know, it's kind of out there, right? There's like not so much things to do. You definitely need a car to get around. The only thing that was nice was like the botanical gardens, and then I can walk to IKEA and Galleria 360, which is the big mall that has the La Sirena shop, where you can, you know, get stuff, and it also has Gold's Gym. Anyway, so that was the rent, and then food. So I mostly cooked at home because there weren't many places to eat around Arroyo Hondo, because there's like, you know, obviously kind of like the middle of nowhere, right? I lived right next door to a Nacional supermarket, so I just walked there and walked back, just like a 2-minute walk. So food costs, mostly cooked at home, $215.75. And then the gym costs, I only did 1 month because I wasn't sure if I was gonna stay in the area. So 1 month, $50 at Gold's Gym. And then moving on to month 3. So what happened is like in that second month, I was looking for apartments. I walked all around Santo Domingo, different areas, different zones. I was calling up numbers, you know, for like seeing for rent signs, calling up numbers, and also looking at websites. And then I finally found this place down over here in the Mirador Sur area. So Mirador Sur is a very nice area with a really long park. It's pretty far. It takes you maybe almost 2 hours to walk, you know, walk in one direction through it. And so I found an apartment here. Rent was $675 a month. That's with a 1-year lease. It came unfurnished because if you want to get furnished, the thing that happens is like places that are furnished in the nice areas, somewhat nice, are usually older. And, you know, all the places have musty smells, and I'm very sensitive to smells. So like, I don't want to stay in a place that's gonna be musty. So I got an unfurnished apartment, which is typically cheaper. And let me see, my food costs. So I mostly just ate in, and maybe I cooked in my house, and, you know, went a few places to eat. So food was $220.18. And then the gym. So I went to Gold's Gym nearby, and I got a 1-year membership. And so the monthly cost is for the Gold's Gym was $29.16. So my totals for the third month and going on, $924.34. Now compare that to second month total cost, $1,423.81. Man, so I guess my tip is like, if you're gonna stay here and you're gonna try to find an apartment outside Colonial Zone, best bet is probably stay in the Colonial Zone with a cheaper rent, and then find a place if you want to live outside of it, outside of it, and find something that's going to be cheap. So typically, on average, like a rental, like an apartment that I've seen, like 2 bedrooms, even 3 bedrooms, no furnished. Unfurnished, no appliances, nothing. About $500 on average in a decent area. Now, there's people that say, oh, you can get like $250, $300 here in Santo Domingo, but no, you got to go out like far into the cuts, like in the areas where like, I wouldn't really recommend living in because it's not as safe, right? And you'll get something that's like kind of like a makeshift kind of apartment, like they just plastered it together, it's like a real fixer-upper. The more further out you live from the central, right, the more you need a car or a bike, because public transportation here, is practically non-existent. They do have ways to get around, but it's not as practical. So yeah, those are the costs. All right, so here we go. We got some. These are ready. This one's the most ready. Avocados. What else? Jalapenos. $17.95 per pound. Per pound, a kilo. Is it all ugly? One here. And eggs. We got 12 eggs for $94.95. 20 eggs, $174. Need some plantains. So only that is $24.95. You always want to get the biggest. It's a big stack with turning. Whatever it might do. Eggplant. I got smaller eggplants. I should try a smaller one. All right, so bell peppers, $77.95. And then small tomatoes, $37.95. Look at this soap. A little lighter, $69. $194 per pound. All right, here's steak. This is about 70 pesos per pound. 158, 159 per pound. So visas are pretty easy for the Dominican Republic. All you gotta do is come here and they give you a visa. Usually it's only 30 days. If you overstay, all you gotta do is pay a little fee. And so I'm gonna put the table up here, somewhere, maybe here or here. I'll put the table up. But pretty much, like, check out these prices, man. All right, so let me refer to my notebook. If you stay more than 30 days, right? So first day after 30 days to 3 months, you only pay $44. 3 to 9 months, only $70 when you leave at the airport. See, 1 year, $88. Can you believe that? You stay 6 years, $531. And if you stay 10 years, only $1,240. Now, I don't know about you, but that's super cheap, man. That's like the cheapest I've ever seen. Like, not even Vietnam was cheap. Vietnam was like maybe $300, $500 if you overstayed maybe like a few months. But man, that's cheap. It's not even worth it to like try to apply for like extension. Because you go to apply for extension, you gotta do a bunch of paperwork, go to clinic, get like a health form, get a checkup, everything, and then submit it, and you still gotta pay the same fee. So it's just worth it to just not do anything, show up at the airport with some Dominican pesos, and then just pay the fee, and then off you go. So there you got it, visas. This next part is about the games, the clock. So pretty much when I first got here, I was staying in the Colonial Zone. In the Colonial Zone, there was a gym called Gimnasio Colonial. Not to be confused with one that's like named something similar that's like up the block. Anyway, this one was like pretty much the best gym you can get in the Colonial Zone without hopping on an Uber and taking like a 15, 20 minute drive out. and maybe paying like $5 each way, so like $10, for a whole trip. So anyway, without taking an Uber, hopping out, the Gimnasio Colonial, that's the most decent one you can go to. Had everything you need, and it was a pretty cheap price. I think I paid like maybe roughly like $25, $30 around there. It was pretty decent, and it was walkable. I could just walk there, and when I finished, go to the supermarket, the Nacional supermarket, get some groceries, go back home and eat. So that's that. All right, so when I lived in Arroyo Hondo, I went to a gym called Body Shop Athletic Club. It was so expensive that they give you the first day for free. I mean, it was huge, it was nice, and it was clean. It's like one of the cleanest ones I've seen up to this point here in Santo Domingo. So I went there, it was nice. They had like multiple floors, about 3 floors, right? Like one floor is like all cardio machines, another floor is weights, and another floor is just machines. But here's the kicker. Every month it's like roughly like $90 a month. That's crazy, man. I'm not gonna pay $90 a month just for like some sort of gym club. It was okay, but like not for the price. So up the road, luckily at the Galleria 360 Mall, I found that they have a Gold's Gym. I went there, only paid for 1 month because I wasn't sure I was gonna stay in the area, and it was only $50. So $50 make you holler. They got me right there. So $50 Gold's Gym, pretty big, just as clean as the Body Fit, if not cleaner, and had everything you need. So pretty much Gold's Gym was like it's the gold standard for me here in Santo Domingo. Then after that, I moved to the Mirador Sur area, and then I went to a Smart Fit. But the problem with Smart Fit was that it's just way too packed. And like Smart Fit, it's the kind of gym where like if you want to socialize, it's great for that. And then you gotta like keep going, become regular, make friends with people, and that'll become easier to just be like hey, can I work in with you, blah blah blah. A bit more communal aspect of it. But for me, it's just like way too many people, especially like if you want to get on the cardio machines, you gotta wait for people. So like there's no communal aspect to that, to waiting, right? So I found a Gold's Gym nearby here, and that's the one that I chose. Gold's Gym right here, I'm paying so I got the year membership. I'm paying roughly like $31 a month, and they got everything. It's huge, it's a lot of space, it's not crowded at all, and I've never had to wait for anything there. So Gold's Gym's gold standard for me here in Santo Domingo. All right, that's the gym part. When I first moved here, I stayed at the Colonial Zone. The reason for that is because, it seems like a really nice, chic area, right? And also, everything's walkable, within walking distance. But ultimately, the thing is, why I decided to move is because there's not that many services in a Colonial Zone. And it's not really a true representation of what, like typical life is here for Dominicans living in Santo Domingo. So I moved out, and the next area I checked out was called Arroyo Hondo, which is a bit more north. By Arroyo Hondo, they got things like IKEA, they got the Agora Mall, they got the subway over there, which doesn't go through too many places. It's just like a straight line to nowhere. And then let me see, they got a Jardín Botanical Park, which is a beautiful park, which I have in another video. And let me see, and that's where they had the other gyms. But there, I stayed like this nice Airbnb right next door to a Nacional supermarket. So it was convenient to get food, but the only thing is like, it wasn't convenient for anything else. Like, I could walk to the gym. It's like a 20-minute walk to the Galleria 360. But aside from that, there wasn't, you need a car, you need wheels to get around, which is kind of annoying. And also the park is kind of hard to get to from where I was staying at. And I looked at other apartments, but I couldn't find anything, that like was matching what I wanted. So after that area, I moved to an area called Mirador Sur. So Mirador Sur is a really nice area. The nice thing about it is that it's really close to a park called Mirador Sur. It's like one of the longest, biggest parks here in Santo Domingo. And so the nice thing about this park is that you go in there and then you don't feel like you're in the city at all. It's really nice. It's good for workouts, it's good for relaxing, reconnect with nature. Because, this is the concrete jungle, but, when you get to the park, you just escape from all that. So, for peace of mind, I decided to move, over here. And also, between here and Arroyo Hondo, the power didn't go out as much as it did in the colonial zone. So, that's a plus also. And so, ultimately, that's why I chose, this area, which is, you got a lot of nice, high rises here. It's somewhat more quieter. They do have a little bit more services here. And so, ultimately, these are the 3 zones I recommend. And there's a few more, but they're pretty much going to be between Colonial Zone and Mirador Sur along a straight line. Those are pretty much the areas you want to stay in, if you want something that's going to be kind of convenient and close to a lot of different services. Unless you go to Piantini. So Piantini is another section. Piantini is I'm trying to think of what's equivalent to. It's if you're in Saigon, Vietnam, it's equivalent to District 2, the Tao Dien area, which is an expat bubble area. Where else would it be comparable to? If you're in Mexico, Piantini would be comparable to the Polanco area of Mexico City. The really high-end area. It's really expensive and it's more newer and it's cleaner, and they got Starbucks everywhere and they got high-end malls everywhere. So that's Piantini right there. The reason why I didn't live in Piantini is because I tried it out at an Airbnb, and walking around, you can walk to different places like the mall, but aside from the mall, there wasn't really much around there, so I couldn't really justify living over there. You can get something nice and furnished, but it's a bit more expensive than over here. So ultimately, Mirador Sur was for me. All right, so that's it for the zones to live in. And then the disclaimer. So some people say you can get stuff like $250, $300 or lower, right, in terms of rentals. But that's gonna be up north, super up north. I don't recommend going any more further out than Arroyo Hondo, just because it's super out in the cuts. You need a car to go anywhere, super remote. And it might not be comfortable for a foreigner to live over there. Might be more prone to theft and stuff like that. So pretty much I recommend staying below that belt, if you know what's good for you. All right, so with all that said, I hope that pretty much everything that I've been talking about helps you out big time. I know moving to a new country can be tricky because a lot of people online, they like to lie about things. They don't like to tell it as it is. But I hope that I can be as clear and direct, with you as possible when it comes to, cost of living and what areas to live in and visa situation. After watching this video, what do you think? Do you want to move to Santo Domingo? Are you thinking about moving to Santo Domingo? Leave a comment below. Let me know. I'm curious about your thoughts. Also, if you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And also, if you want to help support this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, because every little bit helps me, gives me feedback, helps me improve my videos for you. So, I'm here living the life that I want. Why aren't you? Subscribe now. Until next time, peace.